Hi, my name is Adrian at American Automotive in the AC in Santa Clarita. Today we're going to explain how to take the AC compressor off and the AC lines and the receiver dryer and also the orifice tube on a 99 Chevy Suburban 1500. The first thing that you want to do after you take out all the Freon and everything else that's left inside the system, you want to disconnect the hoses, which is the high side, which is usually the red one. And then you want to take off the blue one, which is the low side. And this particular Suburban has rear air, so the lines are going to be a little bit different than your normal AC lines. Also, if you come around the front here, you also notice that we had to take off the front grille to be able to access the other parts of the tubes of the AC lines that you have to take off. Right there. And then right now, so look at this does not fall here. We're gonna take out. You have to take out. There's a bolt directly on top where the AC lines go into the compressor. Just take that out. Put that anywhere as long as you don't lose it. Usually if you were to just replace the lines and not the compressor, as soon as you take this off, you would need to plug it up the holes with either a tissue or any type of rubber piece that will fit in there, so that way no dirt or contaminants get into it. But since we're replacing both the lines and the compressor, we don't need to do that. So you also want to, right now, take that off and you can set it aside. And also on this particular truck, you have a bolt over here, which I already disconnected a little earlier, that holds the two throttle lines. So you want to take that and set it aside. Then you have 4 bolts on the compressor, but you want to take those out. Of course, also put them anywhere you can. On some compressors, on some vehicles, you might have to put them in a certain order because sometimes they might be longer at the top or bottom depending on the vehicle. On this particular vehicle, it's easier because there's nothing in the way of the compressor. And what you want to do to get that off, take the compressor out of the vehicle, set it anywhere you can. It's out of your way, of course. And then you want to come back, follow the lines, see where they go. First, we're going to go towards the receiver dryer. You want to make sure you disconnect all the wires, which also including on the air compressor, you also want to disconnect all wires. Once you disconnect the wires, there's a side that goes from the compressor to the receiver dryer, and another one that goes to the inside of the car. You want to disconnect those, pull the AC dryer or the dryer off, and try to make sure check all your seals and everything, see if they're okay, because sometimes you can reuse them, sometimes you can't. If they need to be replaced, you should replace them. You can also set that somewhere. And since this one has rear air, we also had to, this is why the hoses are different, because a lot of times it just has one hose that goes from the AC compressor to the receiver dryer, and then another one that goes from the front of the condenser to the compressor. So on this one we had to loosen this one down here, which goes to the rear air, which we'll pull out since it wants to cooperate. And now we're officially done with that side. And if you come down here, find a flashlight here.
Shine the light down. It's over there, sorry.
So that way it makes it a little easier. This is the other side of the line. Comes down here, goes to an area down there, which might be hard to see, but when you come to the front, comes right through here, along with the 2 lines that go to the compressor, or not the compressor, but the condenser, which you also want to loosen because you're gonna have to take these out. Sometimes there's a clip there, sometimes there's not, depending on if it's still the original. Some people, they just take it out because sometimes it's just a nuisance. And you want to try to take the lines out. lines are stubborn. And sometimes there might be still some of the oil that was in the lines might drip out. We'll set this aside somewhere out of the way where you're not catching all the drips and everything.
That's it.
And at this moment, that's it until we start to put the lines in and the new compressor and the new receiver dryer.
Smile.